Well, in the last couple of days, bulls have made some progress here ever since on Friday. As you can see, market tumbled down all last week, and then it got to the island. This is from all the way from May. There was that island up gap. As you can see, that level was hit on Friday lows here. And we threw a little bit of that hammer candle right here. Obviously, that hammer candle means absolutely nothing without the follow through. But we did see the follow through with the gap up, and that's what happened on Monday, right? Yesterday. So Monday morning, we come to the market. We see pretty decent size gap up there on Monday. However, you can see the long upper wick right here. Shooting star candle came about on the first hour. Bears really trying to fill that up gap that opened up in the morning on Monday, because you can see that micro-term moving average right here, that aqua squiggly line. Well, by the time when the market gapped up on Monday, yesterday morning on that first hour, that micro-term was not fully reprogrammed to support the buyers. It was still supporting the sellers. So you can see on the first, second, third hour, that micro-term is making sure the price does not advance above this micro-term. However, this gap, it was very, very important that this gap remains open, because all that buying pressure started from there. If bulls were able to keep this gap open, they may finally successfully, for the first time in a long time here, to successfully reprogram that micro-term moving average. And they were able to do that, as you can see on the 1, 2, 3, 4th hour right here. You can see on that 4th hour, we broke above the micro-term. Again, first time since, let's see here, and it's important we understand this. First time since, man, it's coming all the way here back in early October. So it's been almost 2-3 weeks. I mean, there are some moments where bulls really trying to get above that micro-term in this vicinity here. Just last couple weeks ago, that obviously the micro-term not letting the bulls do that. So this was a kind of a big deal, since we haven't seen the micro-term moving average getting reclaimed in about 2-3 weeks here. So, however, though, because all these moving averages coming down in the road, the path for the bulls is a very difficult one, just because, again, we're still in a midterm downtrend. We got all these moving averages coming down. Market has been tanking the entire month of October. And so, obviously, they're really going against the current here, right? And so, even after that 4th hour yesterday, looks like we reclaimed it. So we did see a follow through on the 5th hour. However, we got the short-term moving average coming down, and that's that green moving average here, as you can see. So then again, now that there's another obstacle here for the bulls, so you can see that was 5th hour yesterday, and that was 6th hour. So we actually closed with a shooting star 65-minute candle on the yesterday at close, as you can see right here. Again, just a candle doesn't mean anything unless you see a follow through at least couple hours. We're talking 2 hours here to the downside if this shooting star candle was gonna play out. Remember, there's a big shooting star candle came about on the 1st hour of yesterday morning's trading. We did not see a follow through to the downside, and bulls made that advancement to the upside. So very similar, you know what I'm saying? Logic applies here. So we got the shooting star yesterday on the 6th hour, and you can see the battle that happened this morning, as you can see right there. Long lower wick that tells us in the intra hour on the 1st hour this morning, bears were bringing it down. utilizing the short-term moving average. Bears desperately seeking to reprogram that micro term to back to supporting the sellers. That's what happened on that first hour this morning. However, as you can see, with the long upper lower wick, bulls were able to bring that price back above the. It's not a coincidence, guys. It's not an accident. It's not a mistake that on that first hour, bulls managed to stay above the micro term. You can see right here that wick, the candle just gets slightly above it on the and then second hour today, this morning, we see a green candle. That micro term is now trying to support the bulls. Remember, all the battles were fought here. Bulls worked really, really hard to reprogram the micro term. And you can see first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, the micro term continues to support the bulls. And finally, on the fourth hour, bulls were able to get above the short-term moving average there. Again, like I said, it's a difficult road. It took the entire day yesterday and today, and everything happened so slowly. You can see that short-term moving out, the green moving average here coming down, and this is first time retesting it, and we're getting above the short term. So we did that on the fourth hour, as you can see right here, this candle, right? We are back above the short-term moving average. Again, this is the first time staying above the short-term moving average, getting off the short-term moving average, and seemingly mid-October, but it was not fully, you know what I'm saying? It didn't last that long, but really last time when it did reclaim the short-term right here, and right here, and right here, as you can see, we did see some legs here. If you can get above the midterm here. So now, all right, bulls been in this very difficult journey last couple days. Ever so slightly, bulls were solving problems here, breaking above the micro term. That's what happened here, right? Right here, broke above the micro term and reprogramming the micro term to support the bulls. That'll happen here this first 3 hours of today, this morning session, and on the fourth hour, broke above it. And with that, you can see there's no resistance. You don't see these red candles anymore once we broke above it, right? Same thing happened yesterday. Once we broke above the micro term, we didn't see a red candle until the short term. So as you can see, my midterm moving average, and now here's another. This is going to be a stronger resistance. The midterm moving average been really supporting the sellers. I mean, as you can see, once it was reprogrammed by the sellers to support the sellers there, you see that blue dotted moving average, it was acting as support here, and here was reprogrammed, and you see how suddenly you see that long upper wicks here. Bulls tried really hard to get back. You see those long upper. We have not seen those upper wicks ever since then. Ever since that midterm completely rejected the buyers. Buyers' hearts are completely broken at this point. And you can see a tankage came about. And that all came about after that midterm completely rejected the proposal from the buyers. So this is a big deal because bulls' hearts are broken, right? And now they're trying to remedy the situation once again with that midterm coming up here for 19. So the question is, can the buyers remedy the situation, this relationship, right? Can the bulls successfully remedy this relationship it has with the midterm moving average, that blue dotted moving average, to go after this down gap at 423, 422? Because there's only obstacle before we get to 422 is the midterm moving average. Another thing that I failed to mention with today's move, there's a tiny slight down gap that wasn't fully filled right here. That got filled. So there's some progress that's been made in the last couple of days. Again, micro term reclaimed, short term reclaimed, and this up gap from Monday morning is still open. Obviously, things can change very, very abruptly in this market. I get that. So that midterm is going to be the key for this week. Last time, when the midterm moving average was fully reclaimed and retested, you can see right here, right? Midterm was reclaimed right here, and it was retested. You see how that midterm is supporting the buyers. You can see we at least saw at minimum 2 days of bullish turn after it happened. And that sort of makes sense, because if the midterm is gets reclaimed here, right, the next known resistance is not going to be not until 422 that the down gap there. The oscillator has now entered into the overbought zone. As you can see, finally came out of this containment. It's been bound by this resistance here. So today we finally broken above it, and at least that's a good sign, because at least bulls, again, that oscillator is cultivating lower highs, and with that oscillator that price, as you can see, we got into this severe downtrend the last couple of weeks, or at least all last week we were into severe downtrend, right? As you can see, now that oscillator is hitting that overbought zone, is this the end of this little rally that that bulls had here? Is this going to be another, right? Another sort of like a bear flag within the midterm downtrend before this thing making lower low? And that's going to be the biggest question. That's probably going to be what everybody's asking. If the midterm moving average, rejects, because again, bulls are getting tired here, at least in the micro to short term, right? As you can see here. So if the midterm moving average completely rejects the buyers here, and we see the price turning around and repudiate back down to retest some of these short-term and micro-term, and if we lose that short-term micro-term, and if bears come down and fill this up gap, yes, I believe if that happened, there's a good chance bears gonna try to go down here and fill this island up gap. And then keep in mind, for those longer term bulls here, that island up gap must be protected if you do want to see any sort of major reversal. As long as that island up gap remains open, there's still a chance bulls can turn it around in the mid to long term stance. Right, that's one other discussion. But for now, if we get rejected in midterm, we come back down. If we don't find support, because micro term and the short term could still act as support, and somehow it breaks through let's say it breaks through the midterm, and this gap gets filled, there might be some more leg in this recent upturn.